Currently back on your screens as original EastEnders hardman Grant Mitchell. Ross Kemp joins us now. I mean, we're so happy that you actually went back. I think the last time you was on the show, I was saying, are you going to go back? You're going to go back? And we're so glad, because it's 40 years. You had to go back. But was it the documentary that prompted your return?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah, because we started doing the doc about 3 or 4 months before I actually went back, before I was asked. And you just realised what an effect it had had, not only on the people that worked on the show, the cast, the crew, the writers, the producers, the commissioners, but also on the British public. And, you know, if you go back to the original storyline, a teenage pregnancy with Sue Tully's character, and then the Mark Fowler HIV storyline, when we were, you know, the government at the time was warning people or terrifying people with floating icebergs and tombstones.
I remember that.
And I think, you know, what EastEnders has continued to do is inform people, but not in a lecturing way, not the way a documentary might do it, but has entertained people, but has taken on, you know, domestic violence, incest, knife crime. Every topic under the sun it's taken on. And I think, as I say, it's informed us, but it's also entertained us. And, you know, at its height, when I was in it, it was 28 million viewers.
Yeah. Also, it's how London's evolved as well. It's not London-centric necessarily as a soap, but it's just how... I remember, you know, with the likes of Lou and Ethel and, you know, June Cotton, you know, those kind of matriarchs that did survive the war and then grew up and sort of rebuilt London after the war. It's incredible, really.
Yeah, but now, like, Letitia Dean's character's a matriarch.
Yeah.
Kat...
That's what's so incredible.
A matriarch, and how the matriarchs have changed.
Yeah.
They're not post-war, but they're post the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how people have grown up over the years as well. Is that me on TV?
As a young actor, what was it like getting that break on EastEnders? Because, like you said at the time, 28 million people watching it.
Yeah, yeah. The 2 producers said it's going to change your life, and me and Steve went, nah, it's not. Yes, it did. Yeah. Of course it did.
What were you guys doing at the time when you first got that break, you and Steve?
I got the job because I had failed a screen test for the bill.
Really?
The bill's going just down the road from where we are right now.
No one failed a screen test for the bill.
Well, I did, you know what I did? I was supposed to be playing with the handcuffs and I cuffed myself, right? So that went against me. And we had scanners in those days with the cameras went directly from a line, a cable, into the scanner. And I drove off a car with a cameraman still attached to the back of the car. So basically, by trying to kill a cameraman and cuffing myself, I got the part of...
Well, do you know what? They thought, he's drama. We need him to go.
Wherever he goes, something's going to happen.
Imagine if you hadn't gone to EastEnders at that point, you'd gone and done the bill, how different your career might have been.
Who would I be? And where would I be?
Oh, my goodness.
You know, I have so much... I owe EastEnders so much, having gone on and made documentaries and travelled the world. And that was all mainly because that was catalysed, basically, by being in EastEnders for 10 years. And I owe it an enormous amount, and it was only fitting and right that when they asked me to go back, I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what it's achieved.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the people that I work with. You know, it was Steve and Letitia and Paul Bradley's back as Nigel. So even tonight's episode, which is an hour-long special, it's a bit like going back. You know, it felt like those 90s years, those 2000s. And there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of drama.
Did it feel like old boots getting back with Steve, though? You literally just fall back into it, no problem?
I won't tell you what... Well, the scene was where we pick up... The first scene back was me going into the arches, which a lot of drama has been played out, and getting into a confrontation with my brother carrying a 9mm Beretta, which culminates in me collapsing in snot and tears in Bridge Street. I won't tell you what happens in between. And then, obviously, the Vic went up last night.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good special effects. There have been
incredible.
A few real explosions in my time. And... yeah, who comes out? Does he go in? Does he not? Does he bring someone out?
If I know Grant...
He's considering his options there. You know, he's making...
If I know Grant, I think he's going to go in. He's just one of them people, isn't he? It's lovely to see Bianca as well.
Yeah, and an unlikely friendship is forged at that point. Yeah, they pal up, as it were. An unlikely coupling.
I mean, we did the joke about, you know, you ain't my mother. Yes, I am. There's a moment where Jess talks about the fact that nearly never happened, didn't it?
No, you know, it was supposed to be a whisper. And she thought, this is like one of those slow burner storylines that really work in Enders. And she said, I'm not saying like that, I'm saying it how I feel.
You ain't my mother! Yes, I
There you go.
But it would have been completely different. If she had whispered that, maybe she wouldn't have heard it at the door.
And it wouldn't have become, a national catchphrase.
Yeah.
Even today, and some time ago, she says that that's still being shouted at her in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Listen, we have to talk about Barbara Windsor. You were there for... Because it was you... The boys started first, didn't they?
We were there for a good 5 years before Bar started.
Was it 5 years?
Yeah, and Tony Jordan, myself and Steve, we sort of massaged that friendship, and she was very much up for being part of it. And it's that true matriarchal mother, the craze, She was just one of my closest friends.
But what was interesting is, like you said, we were reading my notes, and I didn't think about it at the time, but she had everything to lose, didn't she?
She did, yeah. I mean, that's one thing I do remember her throwing up in a flower pot on the way off the set.
She was nervous.
Of course she was, because unlike me and Steve turning up, for instance, no one knew who we were and no one cared. She had the nation's press on her.
Yeah.
She had everyone looking at her, waiting for her to trip up. And thankfully, she got the sickie bit out of the way and she just, took it.
Also, depressingly, she was 45 when she started.
I know, that's the thing. You watch the show now and you're, like, older than the people you thought was really old.
Oh, it's just like policemen, Every time I go back, they're getting younger and younger.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the documentary, what can we expect? What has everyone got to look forward to?
Well, it's 40 years. It catalogues 40 years of EastEnders, and it's got some great characters who used to be in the show. Pamson Clement, for one.
Yeah. Great
Lucy
art.
Benjamin. But it's also about looking at us as a society. There were no mobile phones. People, if you saw a robbery, you had to go to a phone box if you were prepared to grasp people up. And no internet.
Yeah.
And people sat down, there were 4 channels, and people sat down and had their suppers around Coronation Street or Enders or around, Emmerdale.
Which everyone talked about it the next day.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, because there wasn't, there wasn't what we got now. There's no streaming. So it sort of catalogues 40 years of British society, as well as looking at the people who are in the programme.
If you could have one drink with someone in the Vic before the explosion, from EastEnders past, who would it be?
Great question.
It's always going to be Bar. It's always going to be Barbara, because, I'd love to have her back in my life, but it doesn't happen that way.
Well, that's part of what the documentary, I imagine, does as well, because you're looking back at the 40 years and looking back at some incredible actors.
Mike Reid.
Mike Reid,
Wendy Richards, Bill Treacher, June Brown.
Yeah.
Come on, I mean, she was a legend. That, in a way, is poignant and touching. But, the soap moves on, life moves on. People come, people go, as you say, often with a bang. Talking of bangs, you should definitely watch tonight.
We are going to be watching it.
You're not doing the live app.
That's the following day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, So, I'm not doing the live because I'm no longer there. I've departed.
Oh, I don't
not in a hearse,
idea.
I hasten to add.
Saying goodbye.
Nor going to Leicester, I hasten to add as well.
Grant doesn't go to Leicester.
He goes to Portugal.
Yeah, he goes to Portugal, exactly.
It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to be on the show.
And EastEnders 40 Years on the Square is available to watch on BBC iPlayer. Make sure you check it out. Thank you, Ross. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.